Consider two seemingly independent challenges which we are facing in the US today. The first is the shortage of skilled labor in the construction trades. Investment in infrastructure is expected to be a critical component of a climate-friendly and equitable post-COVID recovery. However, there is a nationwide shortage in the talent in the skilled trades that would be needed to actually build this infrastructure. The second challenge is the lack of employment opportunities for individuals post-incarceration. Returning citizens face significant barriers in securing employment following release, including a lack of marketable skills and stigma amongst employers. This results in an unemployment rate which is 5 times higher than the general public, impeding former inmates' ability to rebuild their lives after prison. My proposal aims to address both of these issues simultaneously through paid prison apprenticeships in the skilled trades. Specifically, I propose that any federal infrastructure package should include funding for states to build or expand upon prison apprenticeship programs in the skilled trades. Prison apprenticeships are comprised of the same components as traditional apprenticeships, including technical instruction and paid on-the-job training. These programs exist now in an increasing number of states, but are still very small. As of 2016, there were only 9,000 inmates enrolled in apprenticeship programs, and most of these were in lower skilled occupations such as housekeeping. States such as Kentucky are exploring innovative new ways to deliver these apprenticeships, including partnering with local community colleges, as well as work release with outside employers. Federal funding could jumpstart the development of programs where they don't exist now and expand upon existing programs. The infrastructure plan proposed by President Biden acknowledges the need for investment in apprenticeships. It aims to fund 2 million new apprenticeship slots while also enhancing the pipeline of women and people of color coming into the trades. However, it makes no mention of programs within prisons. I believe that overlooking the prison population would be a mistake for 3 key reasons. The first is that prison apprenticeships would match a known skills gap to a vastly underemployed pool of talent. In 2019, there were over 200,000 unfilled construction positions nationwide, with 85% of firms struggling to meet deadlines. This issue is worsening significantly as the boomer generation retires and young talent focuses on 4-year degrees and other career paths. Meanwhile, right now, there are 1.3 million individuals serving limited terms inside state and federal prisons, and 70% of them desire more formal training programs. This is a robust pipeline of diverse talent with interest in these roles. Secondly, prison apprenticeships would create net cost savings over the long term. Currently, over 83% of former inmates are expected to recidivate, meaning return to prison following release. This is expensive and will cost Illinois alone more than $13 billion in the next 5 years, and that is just one state. Studies have found that prison apprenticeships have the potential to reduce recidivism by over 43%. In fact, a study by the Washington State Institute for Public Policy estimates that while the cost of in-prison vocational training is around $2,000 per inmate, they create a net cost savings of $12,000 when accounting for reduced recidivism. In short, prison apprenticeships pay for themselves over the long term by a long shot. Finally, prison apprenticeships could support public sector agencies to address their own pipeline challenges while stemming the rising cost of contracted work. This pipeline challenge is particularly acute in places like departments of transportation or transit agencies who are facing a wave of retirements and struggle to compete with the private sector for talent. Employment pathways from these types of programs can reduce the cost that these agencies pay to recruit and retain skilled trades positions. Additionally, a significant proportion of public sector construction work is actually contracted out to the private sector, 70% of whom say that their costs are rising due to labor shortages. Therefore, prison apprenticeships could reduce costs to the public sector regardless of where these employees ultimately end up working. Now, prison apprenticeships are not a panacea for either of the challenges that I've laid out here. Both require broader investment in things like workforce development and criminal justice reform to fully resolve. However, prison apprenticeship offer these unique areas of overlap, this middle, where the same dollar can meaningfully address both issues simultaneously while also creating long-term cost savings. Not only is this the smart thing to do, it's also the right thing to do. As the apprenticeship coordinator at the Iowa Department of Corrections states, reentry preparation should begin the minute an individual walks through our prison doors. Apprenticeship programs offered on the inside, which link to real economic opportunities on the outside, make that possible. Thank you.